Welcome to Global Diplomacy Leadership. Today we will talk about commercial diplomacy. Let's begin by saying that diplomacy is from country to country, or from country to region, or from country to country in conjunction with other countries at the international level to reach an agreement on an international issue. In other words, multilateralism. Commercial diplomacy is, in general terms, the promotion of trade, exports, foreign direct investment between one country and another. The most important elements that can be extracted from the countless definitions of commercial diplomacy are as follows. The promotion and defense of a country's commercial interests, the activity conducted by representatives of a state to promote trade with another country, the promotion and relationship between states in commercial matters, the government's support to national companies to enter new markets at the bilateral, regional, and international level, and the participation of a country in multilateral meetings such as the World Trade Organization. Commercial diplomacy is not the same as economic diplomacy. Some say that commercial diplomacy is part of the economic diplomacy, while others point out that commercial diplomacy is a different object of study from economic diplomacy. In that, economic diplomacy refers more to almost homogeneous economic policies between countries, while commercial diplomacy is more a recent, dynamic, and complex subject of study, with innumerable commercial actors in both the governmental and private sectors, as well as with multiple commercial purposes. Among the actors of commercial diplomacy are the following. First, we have the head of state, second, the prime minister, and third, the minister of foreign affairs or trade, representatives of the congresses or parliaments, and also we have the ambassadors, the diplomatic delegations, and more. There are actors that do not come from the diplomatic or state sector, but that intervene and take part in the dynamics of commercial diplomacy, such as the chambers of commerce, or the commercial promotion organizations. Among the actions of commercial diplomacy are the following. We have promoting the export of a country, realization of commercial plans of a country, the promotion and attraction of foreign investment, and also we have multiple commercial relations with other countries. One of the challenges of the commercial diplomacy are many, but we have that they have to survive the growing competition with the context of the interrelation that countries have commercially. Another challenge is to manage commercial conflicts through mediation, negotiation, and conciliation in order to avoid judicial solutions as much as possible. A further challenge is to position national producers bilaterally, regionally, or internationally vis-à-vis competitors from other countries. Commercial diplomacy, as it develops in practice, is classified into certain levels of execution and commercial interest. Those, while some countries, such as the major powers, do have a ministry of trade dedicated exclusively to diplomatic trade and trade issues. There are other countries, such as Australia or Canada, whose commercial diplomacy is attributed only to the Ministry of International Affairs, whose promotion is carried out by a separate agency, such as the Trade Promotion Organization. And then there is another group of countries whose commercial diplomacy can be carried out by the Ministry of International Affairs. And finally, there is another group of countries whose commercial diplomacy is carried out by a trade promotion delegation, such as Germany, Japan, and Korea. Among the international institutions that can have an impact on multilateral commercial diplomacy are the World Trade Organization and the International Monetary Fund. Commercial diplomacy is a diplomacy whose definition is still evolving. Due to the innumerable elements and challenges it faces as globalization becomes more integrated worldwide. Thus, in order to shape it, the experience of both governments and the private commercial sector must be also consulted. So, for instance, in the current context of global uncertainty, commercial tariff diplomacy is at an important point of international development based on one of the most important elements in commercial matters: tariffs and their negotiation for the solution of conflicts in this area, so that the agreements and conventions reached in this sector of trade are fundamental for diplomatic and commercial stability among nations. In this way, commercial diplomacy enables a state to conduct international trade relations in times of peace. This is how we finish this episode. Until next time.